Now, last week on the show, we had Josep, who was the main writer of the game Purgatory, and today we're joined by Louis here, who does all the drawing and art for the game. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Now, first of all, how did you first get involved with this project?
Well, I was involved in this project because I met Pablo,
Mm.
the programmer. At first, I was going to work with him on something else, but as we got to know each other, and I talked to him about my drawings and showed him, he presented me this project, which, without thinking twice, I accepted.
Yeah. Is your background in drawing, or have you always kind of worked with games before?
Well, I actually have experience with both.
Mm.
Since I can remember, both have accompanied me. From a very young age, I grew up watching my father play video games,
Yeah.
and soon after, I started playing them. And with drawing, more of the same, with the difference that I was drawn to it without help of anyone. Since in my family no one drew, it also helped me that my best childhood friend also loved to draw, and I considered him my rival, and
Yeah.
that prompted me to continue with it and continue to improve while enjoying it.
Yeah.
You could say that I have grown up with them and that now they are part of me, and now without them I could not live happily.
Mm. And you mentioned just there about growing up watching your father play video games, and video games themselves have evolved so much over the last few years. Has your drawing kind of evolved with that?
Well, yeah, games have oh, what's the word? Well, my drawing have improved,
Yeah.
not only because my video games,
Mm.
uh, the video games help, but it's more it's more practicing every day, watching movies, reading books,
Mm.
keeping looking for some inspiration, and basically doing draw another draw and keeping doing,
Yeah.
because if you don't draw every day, you probably not gonna improve that drawing that you love.
Yeah, that's true. So, how would you describe your drawing style? Is it any particular unique way that you draw?
Um, well, I can't tell you if I have a definite style,
Mm.
but if I had to say one, the one that attracts me the most is the realistic one.
Yeah.
But the style that I draw is not strictly realistic. It is one with abstract or fantastic touches, thanks to the influence of video games, literature, cinema, and Japanese animation.
Mm. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So, when you were younger, what actually made you want to pick up the pencil and start drawing?
Mm, I barely remember. I think that I started like mostly of the kids, drawing what went through my head and doing simply drawings. But later, around 10 years old, I began to copy characters, animals, objects, and landscape that caught my attention from books, movies, comics, manga, and video games.
Ah, yeah. Have you done any other work apart from this game? Have you done any drawing that's not for games?
Uh, for work, no, but I always drew for my friends and people who ask me to draw ethics things like, oh, draw me this character. I love it from this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Yo, okay, let's do it.
Mm, yeah. And when you're working on this game, has your style had to adapt to fit the sort of theme of the game? Have you had to kind of alter your drawing style a little bit to fit in with Purgatory?
Mm, no, I haven't had to deal with a different style since the style of the video game and what they asked me is quite similar to
Yeah.
mine. And I suppose that is the reason why I was
Yeah,
offered to
yeah.
participate.
When you're drawing, are you told what to draw and what exactly to put in the image, or do you kind of have a bit more freedom?
No, actually, I have a lot of freedom when it comes to drawing.
Mm.
Since they like my style, and when it comes to drawing, I get quite into the world that I'm trying to recreate, thanks to the fact that I have developed a lot of imagination over the years.
Yeah. And when you're first given a kind of brief for it, how do you start to imagine what the scene will be like?
Mm, well, mm, firstly, they tell me the ideas they have of the levels, the character, and the mapping. Then from there, I get into the character and the world. I look for inspiration online, and I start to create an image in my head
Mm.
of what I want to draw.
Yeah.
And once it combines me, and I see that it has logic on the wall and what they think and what they like. I start to make the sketches. I do trial and error until I can recreate with my hands what I had in my head.
Yeah.
From there, I make the final drawings with the necessary details and explanations on in them. And lastly, I show them at the meeting, and if they give me the go ahead, we pass it.
Yeah. Have you ever made any mistakes when you've been drawing and had to kind of start over again? Or do you kind of maybe incorporate some of the mistakes and maybe try and make it into a feature of the drawing?
Yeah, yeah. I think that doing mistakes it's a thing that it's principle and the main theme of the drawing,
Yeah.
because if you don't try it and don't do mistakes, you can improve yourself to do better things.
Exactly. And I'm interested to know, I'm assuming you're drawing it on paper, right?
Yes.
So how does it get from the paper to an actual game form? How does it get onto the computer and onto the game?
Well, um, I don't have a lot of idea about that because
Yeah.
of my inspiration of Japanese style that they do, or they first do it by hand and then do it digitally. Uh,
Uh,
I love to do the draws by my hand and express it with my hands. And when I finish a draw, I take photos or and do the explanations, and we send it to an other guy that he passed the draw that I made to digitally, and she sent us the digitally draw. And if we are good with what he sent to us, then we go ahead and and start the next level.
yeah, absolutely. Well, where is this game available if we want to check it out?
Well, we still are uh, in a first stage,
Mm.
uh, but we assume we can we can we gonna finish the game in this summer
Mm.
or a little bit later, but the main idea is finish the game in summer.
Yeah. Well, before it's released, in the meantime, are we able to help support the game in any way?
Actually, yes, we have an internet page and an Instagram,
Mm.
and you simply search by the name of the game, Purgatory the game, and you can find it.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show. It's been really interesting having you on.
Thank you for inviting me. Well, we hope that there's gonna be another time to see us.